Hello everybody, this is part 2 continuation of the previous chapter, the last lesson of Flamingo book class 12. Here we are on page number 5. Let me read the stanzas and then explain you one by one. Your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. They preferred to put you to work on a farm or at a mills so as to have little more money. And I have been to blame also. Have I not often sent you to water my flowers instead of learning your lessons? And when I wanted to go fishing, did I not just give you a holiday? Then, from one thing to another, Mr. Hamel went on to talk of the French language, saying that it was the most beautiful language in the world, the clearest, the most logical, that we must guard it among us and never forget it, because when a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to the language, it is as if they have the key to their prison. Then he opened a grammar and read us our last lesson. I was amazed to see how well I understood it. All he said seemed so easy, so easy. I think too that I had never listened so carefully and that he had never explained everything with so much patience. It seemed almost as if the poor man wanted to give us all he knew before going away and to put it all into our heads at one stroke. After the grammar, we had a lesson in writing. That day, M. Hamel had new copies for us, written in a beautiful round hand. France, Alsace, France, Alsace. They looked like little flags floating everywhere in the schoolroom, hung from the rod at the top of our desks. You ought to have seen how everyone set to work and how quiet it was. The only sound was the scratching of the pens over the paper. Once some bitters flew in, but nobody paid any attention to them, not even the latest ones, who worked right on tracing their fish hooks as if that was French too. On the roof, the pigeons quavered very low, and I thought to myself, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? Whenever I looked up from my writing, I saw M. Hamel sitting motionless in his chair, gazing first at one thing, then at another, as if he wanted to fix in his mind just how everything looked in that little schoolroom. Fancy, for 40 years he had been there in the same place, with his garden outside the window and his class in front of him. Just like that, only the desks and benches had been worn smooth. The walnut trees in the garden were taller, and the hopvine that he had planted himself twined about the windows to the roof. How it must have broken his heart to leave it all. Poor man, to hear his sister moving about in the room above, packing their trunks, for they must leave the country next day. But he had the courage to hear every lesson to the very last. After the writing, we had a lesson in history. And then the babies chanted their ba bee bee bo boo. Down there in the back of the room, old Hauser had put on his spectacles and, holding his primer in both hands, spelled the letters with them. You could see that he too was crying. His voice trembled with emotion, and it was so funny to hear him that we all wanted to laugh and cry. Ah, how well I remember it, that last lesson. All at once the church clock struck 12, then the Angelus. At the same moment, the trumpets of the Prussians returning from drill sounded under our windows. M. Hamel stood up, very pale in his chair. I never saw him look so tall. My friends, said he, but something choked him. He could not go on. Then he turned to the blackboard, took a piece of chalk, and bearing on with all his might, he wrote as large as he could, Viva live France. That means, long live France. Then he stopped and leaned his head against the wall, and without a word, he made a gesture to us with his hand. School is dismissed, you may go. So, Mr. Hamel just says how we have wasted our times, how he had himself allowed the children to waste their times, like he had allowed the children to go for a holiday, or he had asked the children to go to water the plants. Means XYZ reasons with it, that how they had not utilized their time to read French. But now they are regretting that why they have not read French. Even the village people, even the teacher regrets that why he had not put entire his dedication to make them learn French. And now that the Prussian soldiers are coming, they have limited time, limited day, because the next the Prussian soldiers will come and they will be teaching German from then onwards. So he was very sad. He even gave them the last lesson and he brought new copies for all of them and asked them to write something on that. He wrote on the board, Alsace France means long live France. And when everybody was busy writing, he was just staring at everything in the classroom, as if he was trying to capture memories of everything that was present in the classroom. He wanted to fix everything in his mind. And why not? He was there for 14 long years in that school. Even he stayed beside the school. His garden, his classroom was just in front of his room. He could even hear his sister upstairs packing the things because they will leave the entire country the next day. He could hear her movements and the moving of furnitures. He was dumbstruck because the next day they are going to leave even the 40 long years profession, the place where he was living. He had to leave everything just because the Prussians have overtaken France and they have defeated France in the war. So it was this saddest day of the day. Now when everybody has finished their writings, they just hung their notebook and it looked like as if colorful flags were floating in the classroom. And after the lesson they had other lessons also like history and other subjects. And then Mr. Hamel, he was unable to speak because tears came to his throat, and he just wrote on the blackboard, long live France, and bid them goodbye. And in that way he delivered the last lesson of his life, the last lesson of that particular school, because the Prussian soldiers have overtaken France, and next day onwards German will be taught in that school. So this is what he thought. Holding on to one's language is very important. As if you are colonized, if you are overtaken by anybody, but if you are holding on to your language, that means you are. It's a sentence there. Holding on to your language is a key to your prison. Means if you hold on to your language, your culture, you can return back to it. But if your language is lost, your culture is lost, and you are adapted to a new one, you cannot return back to your previous one. So that is why he thought that holding French was a key to their confinement. But now they were forced to study German, and in this way they were being colonized by the Prussian soldiers. This is how he delivered his last lesson. The emotions of the teacher, the students are poured into the lesson. I hope you understand the lesson. Thank you.